And finally, people think that you can't negotiate, that once you receive a financial aid award, that it's set in stone. And that is simply untrue. That there are opportunities to be able to, we say negotiate, but when it comes to the world of financial aid, they don't like to use that word negotiate. It's really more of an appeal or a request for reconsideration of your financial aid award. So some schools will make some mistakes. It's just facts, right? They will mistakenly misaward or even intentionally underaward. And some schools will even try to compete with other schools. Not all schools will do this. Some schools will state outright that they will not view other financial aid award letters when evaluating your offer, but others will. So it's important to know those things, and you want to make sure that if you have an opportunity to negotiate or to appeal a financial aid package, that you understand how to communicate with the financial aid office. And I got a couple of examples here. This past spring, we met a family. Actually, this was a family who approached me back in the fall of 2019. I was about to meet with this family and didn't work out. We had a scheduled meeting, and they blew off the meeting. They missed the meeting entirely. That left kind of a bad taste in my mouth, I must admit. But they disappeared. Well, it turns out they were going through some bad family issues, and they had a lot going on, which I found out later in the spring when she called me back in April. And this past April, her son was admitted to Carnegie Mellon, as you can see here, and he was awarded actually originally he was awarded nothing. So he got absolutely zilch the first time around when they first spoke to me. And we made some corrections to their financial aid applications. This was a family going through a divorce, and that had caused some confusion when it came to financial aid. And so we had to redo and correct much of their financial aid applications, both the FAFSA and the CSS profile, communicated this to the college. So immediately we went from zero in a week's time, we went from zero to $46,630. So I was delighted, and the family was concerned because they still had a large amount of out-of-pocket to pay. So we went ahead and wrote another letter to the college appealing this financial aid award, explaining the family's circumstances. They owned a few small businesses. These had to be divided between mom and dad through this divorce. That division wasn't going to take place for a while. They had COVID issues. The business was deeply affected by that, which they could prove and demonstrate. As a result, short time after that, here we have April 16th. As you can see up here, we go to our next award. Let's see if I can get there. April 24th, just the following 8 days later, and we got to $52,130. If you notice on the first award, their financial need was $52,130, and yet their award was $46,630. If the family never spoke up, they never would have received the higher award. But we communicated to Carnegie Mellon and said, you claim to meet 99% of the demonstrated financial need according to the College Board. So what gives? Now, obviously, our terminology, our language was far more sophisticated than that, but they came back to us with a very nice financial aid award, and it was $52,130, and so this was accepted. In a matter of 8 days, we got $6,500 more. So that was that was one example. I'm going to get to your questions in a little bit later. I just want to get through this. So our next one is, this was a case where, this was a couple of years ago, University of Miami. We had a student who was admitted and awarded $22,000. It so happens that this particular family, they were submitting their 2017 tax return, which was a tax return of record. By the way, we'll get to this in a minute, but for those of you who have rising 12th graders and are planning to apply for financial aid, it's your 2019 pre-COVID tax return that will be evaluated. So we're going to get to that. Actually, this example serves that message, that it's very important next year, January, February, March, that you, in rapid fashion, complete your 2020 tax return if you feel that the pandemic has had a detrimental impact on your income, because that can make a difference, as it did in the case of this family. They had one good year out of 4. So 2017 was a good year. 2015 and 16 were more typical years where their adjusted gross income was under $100,000. This particular year, 2017, they had a spike in income. It was one of those freakish kind of things. It just happened that way. And when we communicated to them that what was it, 15 and 16, that their income was lower, 17 was a spike, and 18 was finished in February of 20, I guess it was 2019, that we were able to see an increase in their financial aid package, as you can see, from 22,000 to 34,000. So a good $12,000 jump in their financial aid package. That was very nice.